Don't nobody else like me, girl. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. So don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. So don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. So don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. 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 Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like. So don't nobody else make me feel like. Yeah. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Ooh. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Ooh. Don't nobody else make me feel like. Don't nobody else make me feel like.
All right, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? How we feeling? Happy Tuesday. All right, let's get into the good stuff today. All right, I know y'all are ready. Taco Tuesday. So yeah, let me know what you're most interested in actually to trade today in the chat. Indices, metals, all that good stuff. Take a look, take a little gander. All right. So let me get this up on here. Have a couple things going. I need to exit out of. All right, perfect. Morning. All right, screen share. All right, and this is what we want right there. Okay, so yesterday we had some pretty solid setups. After the stream, kind of later in the session, there was a few different ones that I liked. I know we wanted shorts to kick things off, and then the market just dumped without us. Some of you were able to get in here on after seeing the demand was just not really there, and then the market came to our higher time frame zone here. And honestly, the only reason I pulled the trigger on Dow over in this area was, even though higher time frame Dow was dropping, was at a lower level, it was because of price action. So in that time, in real time, we were seeing NQ and S&P work its way even lower, and so I ended up taking a buy on Dow and actually being able to just stay within it. And then I also took a shakeout setup with NQ. And then on some accounts, I hit my daily max threshold with this trade, with this NQ shakeout over here. On others, I ended up getting stop profited out. And then, but anyways, so let's get a good perspective on where we're at overall. We can talk about some of yesterday's stuff and all that jazz a little later. But I want you guys to be able to kind of see what we got going on right here. Took a shakeout on NQ after the drop hit 1-7. Awesome. Was going to sell NQ just a second ago, but didn't want to get in the way of YM. Okay, I took that Dow buy as well. Stopped out. Reduced. Didn't take Nasdaq S&P shakeout. Dow buys from London area might be nice. Yeah, we can definitely take a look at all that. What's up, Primo? What's up, Hector? Kevin? Brandon? All right, let me go up here. Cesar. Buenos dias. What's up, Caius? We got Nick on here. Patrick. Edwin. What's good, brother? Gabriel. Buenos dias a todos. Michael. Sam. DeAndre. Yo, congratulations. We had 2 syndicate traders yesterday get funded, maybe more. I'm not really sure. But I know for sure we got Corey and DeAndre funded yesterday. I love to see it. Also, I don't think he'll be hearing this, but my dad got another payout with Tradetopia. So it can be done, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep working on the craft. Keep working on the emotional control. Jose, what's up? Brandon, Amy, Rafa, Greg. Yeah. Some coffee now and some tacos later, right? Let's go. Gonzala, San, Carlos, Larry, Austin, Taylor. Guys, I'm loving how much more involvement there is in the community. Just you guys being willing to share, whether it's charts, ideas on something, resources, whatever it is, just being active in there is awesome. All right, and everyone else that I may have missed, Lojenko, Karen, Steph, what's up? Cheers. What do you think is going in the opening today's NVIDIA report? So yeah, NVIDIA, that'll be at the end of the day, so about 3 p.m. We'll probably see more going down. But anyways, to kick things off, I would love Dow to come all the way up here and we can short something is telling me that may not be the case. So right now, if you look at how price has been moving, we've already gotten, honestly, I don't feel like we actually rejected this zone completely. Maybe my zone is a little bit off, but we did play out of here, but we're still not really making the entire move, it feels like, but I'm not really going to count on that. Dow is kind of struggling to push higher, as is NQ and S&P, but NQ is kind of, it's kind of ranging a bit more. So it's made higher highs as it went into the Asian session. We traded even higher versus Dow that is just really, really not. This is not making any highs, right? We didn't trade higher than yesterday. Yesterday midday Dow still didn't break that high, whereas Nasdaq kept just going higher and higher. And so right now we just saw London take out. So I'm going to focus on NQ to start. London takes out Tokyo highs. So what's left here is for Nasdaq to maybe trade into New York session or actually clear the highs of the week. So these are targets, liquidity targets. On the other side, right, to flip this, NQ has not dropped down to this last push down from last Tuesday. So last Tuesday we saw a nice spike all the way down to here towards during New York session, and we haven't gotten down to here yet. So Dow is significantly more bearish than Nasdaq. So I think buys for NQ over here are a main target for me. So this is looking at buys. Here's the 1 hour time frame. Buys below 24,542. So these buys look pretty solid. Let's see where we're at. So here. All right. Gonna unpin from the feed. DeAndre, congrats again, man, and Corey, congrats again. Let's get some payouts, yeah. So also, by the way, remember, if you haven't already, I uploaded a video yesterday, and if you haven't watched it, it's a couple minutes. So maybe in the cool down time of this, you guys can go over there. I am going to announce a winner today. Today, someone is going to win a funded account, and it's going to come from any of the comments in that video. So I will announce the winner at 9 a.m. Actually, at 9:05 a.m. Central. All right, so mitigation by near 1 hour lows here. Okay. I'm going to keep adding to this, obviously. So, funded account winner will be announced here in about 40 minutes or so. Okay, what's up, Henry? Appreciate everyone that already was showing love and watching that. So, okay. Now, but we can get into the small time frames and kind of see, is there opportunity to trade anything in here? And I think where I'm seeing some patterns, I see a bit more of like equal lows in liquidity down over here from yesterday's New York session. London here, gets a nice little push lower. So we see the market dip down one more time before it tries to go higher, but it fails to make the high. This is just struggling to create really any sort of demand above these levels. That's with NASDAQ. So, yeah, I'm curious to see if we can sell anything here, but I am pretty mindful and I'm patient. We just spiked to take out some of these London highs. So Tokyo highs got taken out, London highs get taken out, and you can see here on the 1 minute, this last little sweep. right here, right? Last little pump up, takes out London highs, and then we start to work our way down. So have we broken below structure yet? No. But we're definitely losing demand every time we work our way over to here. That is pretty much what we're seeing happening right now. So this is the comparison between Dow Jones and NQ. They both haven't quite broken beneath these lows. So we had the market rally. Look at how NASDAQ gave us lower highs, whereas Dow gave us a higher high, which liquidated and then dropped just as much. So I like the idea of shorting Dow, especially because it already liquidated. Now, on the other hand, we're seeing a bit more bearish momentum in real time with NQ. So I wonder if we're going to keep breaking lower. But I'm interested in, I'm interested in shorts with either, Dow, NQ, maybe even S&P. They all have similar movement there. S&P has this move as well. And we have New York open here in seconds, 10, 15 seconds or so. So it's going to be a matter of how we see this open. Considering we haven't seen lower lows yet, I think the market, opening right now with the volatility we're about to get, I probably wouldn't really approach this with a full risk to sell yet. If we start to see demand below these levels and lower lows, then I'm definitely more inclined to shorting either one of these. All right. So right now, we're looking good. Let's see. Dow is kind of holding this low a bit better just to kick things off. NQ slowly pushing down. Look at how this is about to take out London lows. Okay. Meanwhile, S&P is trading more closely to Dow. All right, it's kind of breaking through earlier. Now, here's a setup that we haven't gotten yet, but this is actually S&P on the 1 hour. So I want you guys to look at this idea. S&P on the 1 hour is yet to get to this zone. There was a nice spike down. The market then, made higher highs. So we haven't traded down to here with S&P. And I definitely think we have opportunity for buys with S&P around this zone. So just wanted to share this one here as well. And, Dow just cleared London lows. Look at that. London lows and targeting New York lows. So just to give you guys further insight over here, take a look. London lows are swept. New York lows, we get pinned pretty close. As soon as this gets swept, look at the market right now. It's eating this up. Wow. Meanwhile, we have NQ just currently taking out London lows as well. All right. So these are trading very, very differently to one another. London low now has been swept. S&P, NQ, and Dow Jones has successfully wiped the whole thing out. And YM looks a lot better than MYM, if you can see here. This didn't go down as deeply. So right now, in my opinion, we're starting to see a massive difference in price action between NQ and Dow. Dow is possibly forming a buying opportunity now that it liquidated all of these retail buyers. We're seeing it crash above. So look, now it's starting to take out these highs, the New York Open. Meanwhile, we're getting NQ down here. NQ over here is playing off of an order block. There's a chance that it may want to reject that. There's a possibility. S&P is getting closer and closer to taking these lows from yesterday. Awesome. Not looking for sells anymore on Dow or anything like that. But the market is definitely trading in opposite directions, like by a long shot. Okay, so what do you do in this example when they're both moving so differently? And honestly, when they're moving completely away from each other, typically if there is a setup, you take it. At least that's what I do. Right? If there's a setup here to take, I will. And right now, the setup that looks pretty good, and especially if it's a higher time frame setup, is this one that we have here with S&P. So this one right here, if we can get S&P down to this zone, I'm going to pull the trigger on this guy. And trading this into New York Open or even higher, honestly, makes quite a bit of sense. So, yeah, what do you guys think about these ideas so far? You got S&P. S&P right now is traveling its way down. So it's working its way down to these zones. We got look at how Dow failed to really keep these highs. In the NQ cell. Awesome, bro. What gave you the insight to take this trade? Did you take it from up here? Just saw that capture, and then you just, I guess, saw something here. All right, so look at what's happening now. Now we have Dow after it took out those highs again. Now it's really crashing down. All right. So we clearly just are struggling with demand over here. Clear the highs. This is just crashing back down. Now they're kind of moving in unison, in direction. Okay, so look, avoided selling Dow, especially since it was the most bullish. That's obviously, you want to avoid. It's not just about taking wins. It's about avoiding unnecessary losses, reckless losses. Okay. S&P now took out New York lows. Still not really working its way down there. So slowly moving downwards. I want to look at the zone that I had marked up here with S&P. Now here's kind of the original movement right over here, right? We had this play out. Can we narrow down the stop? And honestly, not really. Like, I think the stop is going to be what it is right over here. 67.91, and then my entry sitting around 68, like 11. So going back over here, this is kind of what I'm interested in. And then honestly, if we're going to get a reversal, for this to be really worth it for me, I would want to see it just take out the highs of the day, which would give us a little bit over a 3R. So I'm going to set my limit right now. Looks like if I do 4 units, it's going to be 400. Actually, I'm okay with that. Just look at the difference, right? S&P keeps working its way lower, and Q keeps working its way lower. I'm imagining that NASDAQ is going to still take out these New York lows. Honestly, this low here, which is from the 17th, is the same idea that I have here with S&P. So, to be honest, the best idea, excuse me, would actually be to just wait for NQ. So you know what? Let me delete this here. I'm going to delete this for now. NASDAQ working its way over to here. I like that quite a bit. And now look at how we're seeing Dow climb higher, S&P climb higher, NQ. So look at how now we're no longer seeing indices with completely different price action where they're, moving away from each other. Typically, it's kind of the harder thing to trade. But when you see the market like this, where they're all moving up and down in unison, one of them is just going to be a bit more intense as the other. When you get price action like that, that's when it's a lot easier to trade. Because now you're just waiting for the right opportunity. So, for example, and I'm going to go back to one screen because two screens sometimes is a little difficult. But right now, the obvious initial setup here is with Dow. So Dow, you get New York open, it starts to just trade lower and lower and lower and lower. But here's where the momentum kicks off. So smart money sells, pushes price all the way down to here, right? Intentionally liquidates London session buyers and just really anyone that's been buying for the last, what is this? I don't know, 16 hours or so? 17 hours. So these get liquidated there. From here, now we're seeing this is what we call accumulation. So from here, especially now that we're seeing this higher high, if the market actually sustains this high, then buying in this area is kind of a no-brainer. Buying over here is just as obvious as it can be. And then your entry really comes down to personal preference. We've seen a lot of levels of support around this area, like 48,875. Maybe even in this area over here, 48,835. So you kind of have like this reversal zone. Just all of this zone is definitely a higher probability reversal in here if you're wanting to narrow down your entry. You can always look within price action as well. So like on the way up, as the market was creating these imbalances and going over here, there's an order block. This 15-second sell before it just kept pushing. Right over here could be a great entry as well, putting you at like 48,870 as an entry. That's like a high probability trade. So when you combine the last point of supply and an order block within the imbalance, it can kind of give you an extra high probability opportunity over here. So like you see how we have this little overlap right there. That is really, really high probability rejection right there. So that's one idea for the buys. Now, from here, also, you have, look at how quickly, right, we just started melting down. And now we're working our way back up. So remember this original sell zone that we had with NQ or with S&P, right? Now we're getting into these zones and these areas. So the question is, can the market sell out of these zones? S&P just mitigated, so it just rejected this area. Honestly, I don't really love selling up here. Only reason is because when the market dropped down, like we just saw here, for me what I'm seeing here, the intention is not lower lows. This is not, we're in a bearish trend now. Now, this is liquidations. Mass retail buyers liquidated going into yesterday's New York session. And then not only are they liquidated, but then sellers are incentivized. So sell stops get triggered when these lows get broken. So sells pour in, they want to chase momentum. Then everything turns around. So Not a high probability sell, in my opinion, because we don't really maintain the lows. So structure is like a fake structure, faux structure. So this is broken but not maintained. So these are setups that I don't trade. Obviously, some people just like trading patterns where they're like, well, it went below, so it's a lower low. Personally, that's not enough for me. I think context is important. So why is it lower? Well, it wasn't lower so that we can, because there's tons of sellers that want NQ at these prices. It went lower just to create a cheaper, discounted opportunity, and then clearly this thing wants to keep going higher. So now you have NQ like this. You have S&P. It looks like it's about to crack through. And then also, though, look at S&P has now, it looks like it basically mitigated this. It was a 40-point drop, and now this is pumped just about 40 points. So I do believe that the original reversal that we had here for S&P has now done its business here. And Dow really, really made the move. Dow didn't even really give it an opportunity to be in this, at least not for me. I know we had this sell-off right there, and we already had come into this zone before. So it would have been nice to kind of trade this here, but yeah, not really given the opportunity. So the cool thing is, if you're patient, this will be a trade later on. So a setup from like right around here. And then honestly, YM is a cleaner setup. So if you can trade YM on its own, then I would encourage something like that. So something like this is what I'm looking at. So entry right around 48,870, and then my stop is going to be at 48,800. So 70-point stop. Clearly, we're volatile. I mean, we just saw 470-point range. So nice, good stuff, Drevis. Silver. I forgot to get to metals. Yeah, I mean, I was focused on this. So this is a pretty big range. If we do work our way lower, right now you're going to see Dow is starting to reject some support from the past. So this might be what stalls momentum for a while. This could be what gives this trade a opportunity for a pullback. What we want in order for this to have a chance, like actually give us a good buy setup, we're going to want Dow to trade above these highs for, the longer the better. So honestly, this trade playing out later in the day would be the most ideal scenario. All right, now secondary ideas here. So outside of the buys with indices, do we still have selling opportunities? All right, is that still up for an opportunity? And yeah, so right now, for example, S&P just took out Tokyo highs and London highs, and Q just took out London highs as well. So we avoided all sells. You avoided any type of losses. So that's great, right? No trading right now. Doesn't really make sense to. So just right now, there's going to be so many traders that would have sold, over here with those highs with S&P or with NQ, because of they don't understand structure to its core. They understand patterns, but not context. Obviously, you guys are built different. And right now, what's lagging behind the most, funny enough, it looks like it's still Dow. So we can throw the fib level from the highs over here, right? These were the highs from Monday's New York Open, and we can, push them down to here. We're at about a 50% pullback with Dow. S&P working its way up as well. You can see this is about so S&P and Dow are pretty similar on their trajectory to this zone. Meanwhile, NQ is pulling back. pulling back. So NQ, I wouldn't really get in front of this guy. You also have the open of the week as well, which has not been swept. So I would imagine that we're going to see NQ probably break through this some more for now. NQ really, really flying, whereas Dow and S&P starting to hold up here. So things can change. You know, the buy setup that we're looking for Dow, it might end up actually becoming a better opportunity for NQ or for S&P. So we respond to whatever the market's showing us. This is going to happen all the time, and this is a skill that everyone needs to work on. Is you might have an original idea, you might have an original thesis on the market, but then things change. You can't just always hold on to what you originally saw or believed. The market's giving you all the information it needs to give you. So why would you just stick to some idea you had at some point? It's like you're still trading from the past. So careful from what state and what point of presence you're trading from, because if you're trading from the past, all your trading is your bias because you believe. And let me ask you something. Do you want to be right or do you want to get paid? It's that simple. So let's set alerts here. Dow gets into the zone. I like it. I like the shorts, honestly, way up here. Paid, right? You want to get paid. Yeah. Same. So I like it. The entries way in the zone, like right before we get our last push. We're looking at 49,650. So this is kind of the area I'm interested in over here. 49,650. Just about an 886 selling entry. And honestly, fibs for me are not necessarily... Oh, this one's almost the same. And just to understand like how good of a risk reward you're going to be able to get. Not necessarily like I enter on 886 or anything like that. The deeper the retracement, the better the risk reward can be. So sure. But it's not like I use the fib exactly for entries. They just happen to align sometimes. And so reversals are definitely possible out of this first level of resistance. So you guys can kind of see you have a very common reversal area around here. So you kind of see that go through. That could be a reversal. We'll kind of see where we're at with the rest of the market. Everything else is you've seen reversals around 49,680. But there's the order block in here that I'm more thinking about, which is like this last push up here. So if I show you guys, I'm aligning, where we're at with the market, but also keeping in mind some of the price action we got in here. So that's why I like 49,650 as an entry over here. All right. So here is Dow. So the original idea, a little bit out of the equation now, it seems like. YM buys and sells. Keep in mind divergence. Sells currently look the most favorable. Sweet. Equal highs with Dow Jones. Where? Close, but not quite. No, there's a difference. Yeah, you have like a good 10-point difference there. So Dow sitting below 50% pullback right now. Coming back to NQ, we started to drop off right around New York Open, stalls out a little bit, another push down around this area, and then the last leg down, which was like right over here. So yeah, if let's say NQ becomes a better buy, which I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, but if it were, then we're just going to keep this in mind. Same thing. Use your fib to understand how price is working its way down. So, for example, we saw a great push up to here. The market's barely pushing down at all. And then you can just do the same with everything. So let me go look at these metals, the metal trades that apparently I missed. Okay. So gold had a clean sweep of liquidity. Playing right back, if you guys zoom out, this is where the market had, I kind of saw a reversal out of here possible. So right now, chilling. Someone's order just got filled over there. So we have a, play into imbalance over here, clearing Tokyo lows and the lows of, and the weekly open. So super nice. Here's the open of the week. Got below that. Great. That's like a liquidity target. Market comes right back up. So we're trading back into the zone. So if this builds up, I mean, I could definitely see a shakeout type of idea over here. All right, now we trade back into structure. So the longer this holds demand, the better. We can work our way down and then look for a buy. And then silver. Silver not really as bearish. Like, it pushes down, but not nearly as much. So maintaining a better bullish structure. So it does clear out, some money for sure. We get below London lows, which I'm not sure why London, this indicator for this tool for session highs and lows, I don't agree with the London lows though, because this is still London session, like going into 6 a.m. So anyways, it takes out quite a bit of liquidity, including a lot of Tokyo liquidity, trades into some imbalance, and then you get a very strong reversal trading all the way up into here. So at this point, I definitely like buys if we work our way back down, whether it's maybe trading down into this 85, 830 range. So trading well below all of this. So I think metals can still give us a trade later. Definitely. What do you guys think? What's active on your end? What's pending for you guys? How are we adapting to the current market? We looking at majors, oil. What's on the radar, guys? So oil, actually, now that we're over here, oil's been pretty fun. Back and forth and back and forth. We just saw oil clear London and Tokyo highs not too long ago, a couple hours ago. And now we're working our way back down to this, this huge rip that we saw. So there's clearly very little demand in this range now for oil. Every time it gets above 67, it's just like, it gets tired. Price is like, oh man, I'm kind of good. So I could see us having a nice short for oil over here. This is where you get that last leg up that does that final round of liquidations. So yeah, let's kind of get more detail here. So I would say that shorts become relevant starting at 66.86. I'm really looking more for an entry within this imbalance over here, this inefficiency. So right around, I would say 66.95. I think you can see a good short. If not higher, maybe 67 exactly. But I'm gonna go with 66.95. Lock in a good opportunity there. And then, I mean, easy targets, in my opinion, are just the Tokyo lows in itself. So this is just kind of playing the range. They don't even have to go too much further out. I'm sure it could go even further. But let's just say we want to target, because we're still technically counter trend, just targeting where we have a good source of liquidity. That'd be more than okay. And honestly, probably just get into this imbalance at least. So it looks like a 4.5 R. Yeah. So let's see if I'm going to trade this on. Let's see. I think I'm going to need. Let's see. Counter trend. I can take 2 units, 2 CL units, or I trade micros, and then we're talking about, what, 25 units? Okay, I'll trade micros. All right, cool. All right, so 25 micros over here. All right, what are you guys trading? Y'all up? Y'all down? Did we lose the plot? Are we buying plots of land? Was good. All right, so I'm going to leave this here just in case some of you like the idea as well. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. I like that we sup liquidity, and then we, after that, have been working our way down, building up for the last 30 minutes around these areas, and then we can go there. 10R on that YM buy. Ooh! That sounds like either a beefy live account or that we have passed some funded accounts or something. Come on. Sitting on my hands rest of the day. Even if you have your setup, huh? Okay. All right, let's go back to. We'll come check this out in a little bit. I'll have an alert if we start to work our way closer. But let's go see where we're at with the market. Ooh, okay. So indices crashing down. Let me just. So we're at about a 50% pullback. So we did, as we broke above these highs, we've been trading up here for, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. We've spent almost 30 above the previous high, but as quickly as it went up, it is coming down. So that sometimes can be a red flag. S&P working its way down to these levels already. The retracement's pretty substantial. So this is already retracing down to a 618 with S&P. Whereas Dow is still sitting around at 50%. This is a little bit under. And then NQ. Interesting. NQ. Not really dropping as aggressively. So NASDAQ now didn't really hold these highs super well. Traded up here for like 15 minutes. But on the way down, it's also not dropping as aggressive. So curious Curious. Because what we might be seeing here, especially if Dow, let's say like trades here a little bit longer, this could be what we call a shakeout setup, where the market liquidated, London highs, plenty of imbalance, traded right off of this. Remember how I said Dow could struggle to go higher once it meets some previous levels of support over here. So it did that. And now the market, as quickly as it went up, it went down. So not always the best example for just a strong set of like structure. If this was going to continue bullish, we typically want to see the market like really hold down these prices and prove these prices that are there demand there. There's a requirement there. So this could look more like it's climbing to fill in balances rather than create a structure. So this, to me right now, that's more of what I'm seeing. This looks more like, okay, we just rebalanced, not became bullish. So, I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you this is the final opportunity to leave a comment on the video that was uploaded yesterday. I'm about to do a giveaway for the video that we uploaded yesterday. It was a trading psychology video. So drop a comment in there if you want to be qualified for a funded account, and then I'll do that here. Let's see here. How am I going to run this? I wonder. Babe. So 2 options. Either copy the username of everyone in that YouTube video, or just search for, like, there might be just like a YouTube comment picker or something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's probably a thing, but I should have been a bit more prepared for this. Or just, copy all the usernames, which would probably take you a lot longer. But anyways, once Nance has that ready, then that will be the end of this. But yeah, if you guys haven't, go check it out. I thought it was a good video. Obviously, I wouldn't have posted it if I didn't. So go check it out. Nary killed it with the edits, and we've gotten good feedback so far. So, okay. With that being said, I'll drop the link to it here in the comments. Up 5R, but want more. That sounds dangerous. Trading your feelings. That couldn't be you. All right, so check it out. We've been chopping down here for a bit. So is this valid for a shakeout sell? I like it. I like sells here. And then if you're going to sell any of these, I typically sell what's kind of slowest to work its way up. So 38.2 pullback right now from sick. Oh, how's it work? Or what do I have to do? Okay. So look at how NQ is pulling pretty well up here. With this like this, I think Dow is basically going to be the best shot for a short from what I'm seeing right now. So I'm going to have this ready. Being able to trade up when using these tools makes my life a lot easier, to be honest. And at least a 3.5R, I think, is at play here. All right, so what's up? Did you send it to me? I took a buy on 6B. Can you look at it? Yeah. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, look at these. These are all kind of building out right here. Just chopping up. This is good. This is what we want to see. More and more of this. It might end up being in Q, so I'm just kind of going to play by how this continues to move. Really? Sick. All right, so I think I got a YouTube comment picker on here. I looked at, is it called pickawinner.co? It's one I found. All right, guys, so y'all are going to see it go down here in real time. Hopefully this is what I think it is. So, okay. This is your final chance. If you haven't said a comment, who thinks they're going to win? Who's got that? Who's feeling it? Does Nadir want to win a funded account? Did Nadir leave a comment? Damn, you're just playing yourself. That's crazy work. All right, let's see. Karen thinks she's going to win. Corey thinks he's going to win. Sophia's feeling it. Nick, pick me. All right, cool. So I'm going to click this button. It says fetch. It says I'm due. All right, select a filter. Anything goes. What does that mean? Yeah, I guess so. Include replies? No. Allow duplicates? No. All right. Please wait while we load the winner. Loaded 61 comments. Okay. Impact Tilam? Impact Lam? Whoever you are, you won. So if you're going to claim this, shoot me a message on school community. All right. The school community you can find here, this website. tradingwithmike.com. That's where our school is at. Now here's what I'm going to do. If this person doesn't send me a message within a day, then that's weird. But yeah, shoot me a message on school. If you don't respond, because sometimes I don't know, people just miss it. I'm gonna. This is the backup winner. I'm gonna choose the backup winner now. All right, backup winner. So there may be hope for you. Xavier Leon, 1974. This is the backup winner. All right. Now we got two. Should I choose a backup winner? Should I just get people's hopes up? All right, I'm gonna choose a backup winner too. Yeah, why not? Noah. All right, there you go. So we got Impact, Lam, Xavier, and Noah. Hopefully, one of y'all are on here. But it's gonna go in order. So you got a day to lock it in. All right, going back to trading. Congrats. I'll take third place. Right now, we're seeing NQ is trading up to here, 71%, 618 pullback. We're seeing S&P is sitting at around a 50% pullback, and then Dow at right around a 38 too. So Dow to me looks like the best so far. I'm gonna make a limit on this idea. I like it, and then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take a nice little swing at this guy. So I'm throwing 11 contracts at this at 49 to 28. So that's what we got going on. Let's see if that goes on. Let's go. Let me hope no one claims it. Oh, what's up, Xavier? Okay. So, yeah, let me go ahead and let me tell this guy that he won. I'll tag him. But, yeah, if there's no response, there's no response. I did say I was going to choose a winner on the live session. So, if it's not claimed, then there's nothing I can really do there. Okay. So we have Dow here doing its thing. We went over metals and what they can potentially be like. Pretty efficient price action. So I don't know if we're going to see metals come back down to this area. we'll see. Oil as well. Oil is just keeping nice bearish price action. This might not come back for us over here. And then 6B, right? That's what was requested. So you were saying that you took who won? Impact Lam. So let me see. Can I go find the winners? 3 certificates available. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I'll double check. Okay. So let's see. Jay, you were asking about 6B, and then you said you took a buy at 1.3470. All right, that's a snipe, bro. What a flex. So I had a nice little sweep of the lows. Beautiful capture liquidity. You made a nice little high here. Didn't hold up too well, but apparently still good enough. And then you're making another leg up. Nice, man. I mean, this is squeezing pretty well. So everything else looks pretty efficient here. I feel like you're going to get the breakout. So holding this bad boy, I think, is probably a good call. What was your stop? Like 11, 12 pips? So if it was, yeah, I think I would hold this some more. Pick me, bro. I see you, Nadir. So yeah, guys. I think, yeah, Jay, this is a good one to hold, I would say. Yeah, you're already up like almost a 3R, but I think you can get a bit more out of it. The only thing that I don't love is where we're at right now. Because here you have London take out Tokyo highs, and then instantly, like, there's really no demand. So it comes down, it trades out of here. So I do see a world in which what we're seeing right now is starting to reverse. This could push down. The question is, what does this want to do more? Because this here fails to keep the high, works its way down. This obviously holds up enough, mitigates again, runs. I would say I would at least have my stops in profit, all right, like 1.3491. And then I feel like if it's not going to reject super aggressively, then you're in the clear. All right, so they're saying Dow is moving more bullish now. Well, that doesn't make my life easier. 50% pullback, almost. NQ, similar. It's kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie. NQ is already pretty efficient. Like, it's moved its way. It's pulled back all the way. So I wonder if NQ is already just going to keep this going. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on this. I guess we'll see, honestly, how this wants. Because, like, Dow obviously clearly has imbalance to fill still, while NQ already worked its way back up to here. We're seeing really good movement. Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat. You know, we've been a solid 100 plus all session, well over 300 people during the stream. So I appreciate y'all, you know, giving love to the channel. Yeah, You know the vibes. Appreciate you guys. It's what we do. You're in a buy on 6A. Cool. Yeah, so right now, the way this is moving, NQ kind of feels like it would be the most ideal opportunity. But, like, I don't know where it would get to. So I'm curious. I think if we get a Dow to fill this imbalance, like trade all the way up to here, I want to see where we have. I just deleted my order just to be, I can always add it, but I want to see where we would be with NASDAQ or where we would be with S&P, with Dow working its way all the way up there. Because like, look at the NQ is holding this up really well. So I want to see this start to fill more of this imbalance, and where that could take us. Because if that's the case, then I'm willing to short NQ. Maybe we end up trading up here or something, and then I'll follow a tighter structure, tighter stop. So look at how we're now getting into these imbalances. Here's where we have this last spike up. So, yeah, we're starting to move pretty decent. Okay. So I'm getting closer to pulling a trigger on a short on NQ. The target would be to work its way down, further down to here. All right, so okay, look at where we're at with Dow. Starting to get into this imbalance. Now we're really getting into the zone. This is where I was, looking to enter originally. Now that Dow is pushing a bit more bullish, I'm leaning more towards selling NQ. Maybe some of you still want to do like split your risk between different assets. I mean, not necessarily a terrible thing. How are you guys looking to approach this? At this point, I would be working on my contracts. Make sure you have that all lined up. Look at how Dow is now starting to dip a little bit. All right. All right. NQ at that 618. Dow almost at that 71. I wonder if we end up getting NQ to take this high up here. Let's see. 71 pullback on YM. S&P deeper, and then same thing. NQ and YM are really similar now. Look at this. All right, I'm going to pull the trigger on YM, guys. I'm making a commitment here. After further review, YM shorted. All right, let's see. Now I'm double checking my other accounts. Trade Sinkers looking good. All right, so for now it looks like a snipe. Obviously, things can change. All right, up about, let's see, just a little bit here. Now, you can actually change this so that it shows you, instead of money, it can show you the tick amount or whatever, however you want to see it, percentages. It looks like we went with the right choice with Dow. It held up the best. At the very end, the other ones got really bullish. So this is what I was talking about with, like, just respond to the information that you're given. We were going back and forth. At the very, very end, we started seeing Dow and NQ, or S&P and NQ, just push very fast while YM was holding up. And so it looks like we might be good over here. Let's see what happens. We're at about a almost let's see. We were almost at a half R. Now the risk here, points wise, was about 85 points, give or take. That's how much I wanted of wiggle room to take this position. So every 85 points is going to be 1R. For me, that's $500 risk per account. So, whatever that is for you, you want to think in R and risk and reward multiples. It'll be the easiest way for you to understand like your actual trading progress. Okay. Dow holding up right now the best. Now, another thing, and this is where everyone's going to have different possibilities, different outcomes. And that comes down to your trade management. Well, more of what I'm saying is your stop loss management. So, for example, I want to give my trade, when it comes to shakeout setups, I like to let the market kind of like fulfill at least some incentive. So what I mean by that is, like, this is the first thing that I would imagine the market would want to do here, which is to fill this imbalance. This imbalance over here, like it popped up. For this to come down and fill this would be like the first smart money, I guess, goal to accomplish, which would be to, rebalance all of this. If it doesn't do that, then, it is what it is. So like right now, we're kind of back around entry. It's chopping up in here. That's fine with me. S&P and Q kind of chilling at that 886 level. And then YM still below at 786. So let's see if this is going to hold up. If not, that's okay, right? The risk has already been determined. So there is no, shouldn't be a surprise. If, you're going to drawdown and you're feeling like a bit more anxious or a bit more frustrated, or let's just say you're kind of in a negative state, then a couple of things are really happening. Either you never fully committed to the risk, so you risked whatever you wanted to, but now that it's happening, you don't actually accept the risk, so you haven't accepted the terms of your trade, your own terms. So how can you work around that? Either, well, you don't really work around it, you work with it, and it's deciding, okay, is this risk actually something that works for me? Maybe it's too much. So you struggle with potentially losing, not even losing, but just potentially losing even. Or it could be the right risk, but you're more attached to the outcome. So losing itself, you don't like. Or, and it's funny because it can go to so many different lengths. It can be about the account that you're trading, and you're not getting closer to your goals, your milestones. So that's influencing because you're thinking about that. You're thinking about, I want to be funded, or I want to get my live account to X amount, or I want to make this amount of money. And so either you're attached to an expectation, an outcome, and so the drawdown is infuriating, or you are, also you're experiencing multiple trades of things not going your way. So it's even more frustrating, and you're like, oh my God, when is it going to be my turn? Like, trading sucks. So, right now, NQ and S&P already took out the highs. So maybe we diverge, and now that those highs are swept, everything wants to work its way down. That's a good sign, at least, because YM could have been swept first, but it wasn't. So that's why we go with the diverging asset. This could still lose, but again, at the end of the day, right, what you're focusing on is trading isn't the outcome of a trade. It's a series of trades, right? You're just adding up. They're just going to add up over time. So it's like what matters is the outcome of 25, 50 trades. That's really what will come to be. These are just questions to ask yourself, because you'll learn the most about yourself as a trader when you're in drawdown. Like, that's when you learn about your trade management. That's when you figure out, damn, I don't have rules to certain parts of this game. And if you don't have those things, if you're struggling with how to manage your emotions, if you're struggling with how to manage your risk, with your expectations, and you don't understand why you feel the way that you do, or why you're impulsive in certain scenarios, or you don't know, how to create the proper techniques during it, then these are the kind of people that we're looking to work with in the syndicate, because you're serious, you're committed, and obviously you've been working on your own craft on your own time. But if you do want the answers to these things and to work through your specific situations, then that's what we're here for, right? And so that's why I always encourage you guys, if that's something that fits your description, then feel free to join the squad. And you guys can learn more and have a meeting just to see if it's the right fit for you here at the link that I just dropped in the chat. So, and I'm going to go ahead and pin that so that you guys can get that and use that. Proof's in the pudding. Like, we just had a trader who, in her first 6 weeks has made well over 7K. And you guys are seeing all that, basically every day there's another member passing a challenge. Did you say Lindsay passed one? Nice. Lindsay just passed one too. So shout out Lindsay, just got funded while we were on this session. It was her own trade, I'm sure. So yeah, good stuff, Lindsay. Congratulations. We love to see it. And here, we're just staring down a slow death with YM. Let's go, Lindsay. Congratulations. And at some point, this is either going to be one of those gotcha, and it turns around and, we still good, or we're just cooked. So we'll see. Your goal is you got to get to the point where you lose and laugh, and smile. But obviously I never lose. So, I don't know anything about that. I'm like DJ Khaled. All right. And here's how you don't ever lose. You just go to a different screen when you're about to lose. And then you don't tell anybody. So the buys, let's see here. So while that's doing its thing, let me make sure this thing is squared up. Stop market here. 13. All right. So this is just brought up, but I know someone took a buy. I think it was Daniel. Daniel, you said you took a buy over here. This is a good trade, man. Oh, I forgot I had all these liquids. So you bought off of Thursday's push down. Nice, dude. This is good. This is great stuff. Let's see. A little sweep down after you got some higher highs over here. Waited for the market to come back down into your zone, and that's great. Looks like a similar trade to the pound. Let's go. Look at that. Pound's pumping. Jay, you're holding that, yeah? Sick. Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Let it rip. Okay. Majors. So for majors to take any trades, I'm not really seeing much. Yen with the big pump before a big dump over here. So you might be seeing some shorts from the yen within this session. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't take up a bunch of liquidity, but it definitely entices a lot of buyers before it rips down. So I could see shorts out of the yen in that area. I don't think it'd be a full risk trade for me though. I still like yen buys way down here. The yen shorts from the tippy top that we didn't get alerted on are still good. Look at that. Oh my God, almost a 20R. Jesus. YM still in though. We still alive, baby. Come on. Remember, the market won't move in your favor if you do. Well, actually, a rumor has it if you stare it down, like angrily, then it will go in your favor. That's what I heard. I mean, that's the word on the street is that. I also heard prayer works. So, just ask Jesus for some points here. I also heard that just donating to me moves the market too. So if you guys, obviously, if you want to make money, you just have to donate to me. And then I'll make a call. You know what I mean? I'll make some calls. I'll make some things happen. All jokes aside, you close TopStep so you don't hear order filled. If you don't hear it, it didn't happen. Exactly. We up. Nice. Good stuff, man. Pull out the magnet. The more you look, the less it moves. Or the hammer. I use the hammer and magnet method. Thank me later. Okay. So while we wait for Dow to make some decisions here, let me just check in with some other assets. Gold, chilling still. Silver, chilling still. Oil, man. Oil making his move. Wasn't invited to that party. That's okay, I guess. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Bitcoin. Did Bitcoin finally start mitigating the zone? There's like a massive shakeout setup that's happening right now. Like this is like such a huge zone over here. So this is where I was waiting for buys. I've got buys going right now. Heavier and heavier. Yeah, I think buying a full Bitcoin is not a bad idea around here, these prices. I mean, it can still go lower, don't get me wrong. Like, I think if this doesn't shake out the way that I would want it to, then I'm imagining our next leg down goes to 45-ish. On the bright side, if maybe some of you are finally feeling some relief because you stopped clenching your cheeks because now YM is in profit. So for the clenchers over here, you can relax for a little bit until you get back into a little bit of drawdown, and then you can, oh my God. So right now, seeing some would say motion, a little motion over here, a lot of imbalance to work its way down to. The clenchers is crazy. You know who you are. I can't. He says I just can't unclench. Drawing on my monitor worked. Exactly. What was I even talking about, man? I'm here getting distracted. What do we do here? We trade or something? Okay. Yeah. So Bitcoin, big picture, Sol at $77. Wow. You know what's funny? What's going to happen, and you're on the stream right now, so just remember this one. There's going to be a moment in a couple years where you're going to be like, fuck, dude, I remember I saw Sol at $77 and now it's at like 500. Like, what the fuck was I doing? Oh my God. So big picture, not much has changed. It's just the funniest thing about investing is like typically not a lot changes about an asset. and then you're looking at price for like reassurance, and when it's at high and you would have been in profit, oh man, I didn't make that decision. But then when it's at like levels that you would have dreamed of, then you're like, well, actually, I want it to go a little bit lower. I'm gonna wait for it to go a little bit lower. Even though you bought at like 200 and now it's at 77, and now you're like, well, actually, it can go down 3% more, even though your first buy is down like 64%. So yeah, doesn't mean you got to spend everything you have. All I'm saying is making decisions and accumulating some assets as it's working its way down, since you probably can't perfectly time everything. I haven't had any coffee today. I've barely had any water today. I'm high on life, baby. Here's the truth. You guys just don't see. My number one favorite thing to do is I'm a troller. If I was like a gamer, like a hardcore gamer, I would just be talking shit, trolling. It's the dichotomy. There's a rhythm of life. For all the peace and tranquility that I have within, I enjoy the rage baiting. But also, like, you guys are gonna learn better if I make these examples. You know what I mean? I'm high on drawdown. Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. But anyways, like, if you were buying over here and the asset hasn't changed fundamentally, like, make a decision on what you want. And it doesn't have to be crypto or anything, but let's see. What are some of the winners today? TSM, very nice. Jesus Christ, this thing is no chill, huh? No, not yet. Dow is just kind of chilling around entry. Damn, TSM never came back to get your boy in. Intel, nice little 3%er today. Start the day. Okay. Etsy mitigating nicely. Nike seeing some movement. What's down today? PayPal chilling. Spotify shakeout is kind of what I'm interested in. But honestly, if you are going to get some Spotify, it's got some insane movement from 2023, like exponential. So filling some of this is possible. But the thing is, for me, like, I'm just with this. I use Spotify all the time, so like I'm with it, with accumulating more of this. Solar doing well, just about back at those highs that we saw. We saw an insane pump a few weeks ago here. That's what happens when the market squeezes so much. And then Coinbase, I think this is, for stocks go, such a solid one. I think probably the best that you're going to see this priced at, maybe sub 140 in the 130s. But like, I don't know, for me, like, just accumulating more of this is going to be lit, because by the time that market's back up here or higher, yeah, you're in for a good time. So, especially because now Coinbase, you can buy stocks. Like, these guys are going to keep expanding and doing more cool things. So yeah. Let's see, Duolingo up a little bit after it got into our zone yesterday. Cool. Any questions on stocks? I'm off work today, so I focus on trading. Nice. Trading is the dark souls of professions. What? It is not that dark. All right, cool. All right, where are we at with Dow again? Let's go back here. We're just kind of chilling, huh? A little squeeze. Okay. It's not looking terrible. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. And y'all can keep staring at the charts too. But today, for those of you on the syndicate session, we'll go down. We'll talk about this trade and any other ones that are taken later. For the rest of you, you guys have resources that you can check into. Go watch videos, YouTube as well. So yeah, keep learning, keep progressing. Do not miss, if you're newer to trading or newer to futures too, or you're kind of like feel like you're restarting your trading journey, then make sure you're on tomorrow's session for Nancy's session, the one that we do in the evenings. And on Thursday, guys, we're going to do a webinar breaking down exactly how you can gain 1 to 2 years worth of experience in a month with us. We're going to be doing something special. This is catered to newer traders or traders kind of restarting their journey. So that'll be Thursday. You guys will see details on that soon. If you're subscribed to us, whether it's email or in the school, you guys will see a post about it. But anyways, much love to y'all. For those of you that are looking to work with us, very hands-on. Obviously, you guys can crush it by yourselves. I fully believe in that. But if you want to accelerate your journey and get feedback more often and have a very intentional over 150 lessons course, then feel free to click the link that's pinned and learn more about the syndicate program. With that being said, hopefully this trade just dumps and Dow goes to like, 40,000. And then we all get super, super, super rich. So yeah, much love, y'all. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.